Hello, my name is DC, and I'll be giving match analysis for Tallinna FC Flora versus Tallinna FCI Levadia. This is the Estonian Premier League. Let's uh, let's get started with this one. First goal starts around somewhere here. Sorry, just wait a bit. Here. All right, so he grabs the ball, starts moving with it. Already, we can see a gap that has formed. He's unmarked. In case anything happens, he can, run there. At this point, the player that was there has dropped off. Yeah, I know it's not something that's happening near the ball, but just trying to pay attention to what's happening off the ball. He's still unmarked in between the two defenders. 4 goals wide. I think I missed something there. Definitely missed something there. He makes that run now. This is what surprises me. So you can see, right? He was heading with him, then for some reason he just decides to go the other way. I don't know if you noticed that. So I really don't know what he was trying to do. Because you let me just put this so it's much more obvious. Because look what happens. He he goes further away from the player, and then at this point he has all the space in the world, and no one can touch him. But yet, look, one, two, three are around him, but can't really do anything. Kind of frustrates me when that happens. And then we have another man making a run, unmarked. I have a feeling he was the one that's supposed to be marking him. I really do have a feeling so. Let's let it play on. Now, here's where I do get a bit frustrated because he definitely could have gone to pressure that ball. Somewhere here. So as soon as he makes that run, right? Look at that. At this point, he could have gone like that, but instead he goes further forward, and then he actually takes a slight step behind, right? And then instead of moving forward again on that fake shot, he decides to still stand still. That's a really good. That's a really good pass. That's a really good play. All that space, and that's so. It's one thing if you're near the player and you're not in the position, yeah, it's somewhat understandable. But if you don't actively try to block off that pass, nah, because he could have definitely done better. He could have definitely done better. And then if you're the two of you, at least okay, maybe he didn't know that there was someone behind him, but if he went first time to go and get that ball, I would have no problem with it because he's the last man. He's trying to block off a pass, but instead he just watches him as he cuts it, and good finish because we have seen people miss from there. All right, somewhere here. That's where the next goal is scored. Not next goal, but it's one of those things. It's one of those. It's more of how can I say, like coaching point or something like that. All right, so yeah, he plays it forward, right, and then he passes it to his teammate. Now, what I like here is the run because he plays it forward. He takes it because you can tell he's not that quick because he would have already gone. But what I like is look at how he protects the ball. He's not as quick as them, but look at how well he shields the ball off and then he holds it. Because other people would have lost the ball trying to, do something. By do something, I mean try to take a really big touch, knowing they'll be able to chase it, failure to keep the ball or protect it. But look at how he protects it. He's not that quick, but that's how he protects it. And at this point here, he really could have played the ball. Could have played the ball into the space so that his teammate runs onto it. He continues with it. And then he could have still played it here because he would have been in a really good position to cross the ball or just shoot it because at this point here, look, there are around two players in front of him, and then the angle doesn't really favor him, but it's a good strike. He heads it, and then just yeah. But just the run is what I do like the most about this. Boom, he starts running, right? He's not as quick, but he makes sure to run across him so that he's always, like the defender can't do anything. The only thing he can do is foul. And then look at that. He protects the ball so well. Continues running towards with it. At this point, you would have rather he plays it to him so that he crosses the ball, but he takes the shot. You know what? If you've run that far, you might as well have a chance. Give you made a chance yourself. You might as well take it. Still should have passed though. All right. They're moving again, and then he can. Let's see if he actually passes the ball, because at this point, all right. So he can see what's happening. He's also actually the deepest player that's there. So he's probably playing everyone else on side along with the guy that's here. He sees what's happening. I don't know if he tries to push up or not. I really don't know. But he's the deepest forward. And something tells me that if he was above, if he was higher up, all right, so let me just move this back a bit. Okay, I can understand why the defender doesn't really want to engage, because if he does engage and then he concedes the space, last man, stuff like that. So he's under pressure, but the line's a bit jagged, that, yeah. So he sees that pass, all right. Nah. And then he tries to play. Okay, so it's one of those things whereby he could have just kicked it out. Yeah, I know kicking the ball out is bad, but it's better than this, because you see here. Because at this point in time, I think he had control of the ball. He wanted to turn and then, like protect it, shield it, but that didn't work out. That was the best time to probably kick it out. And rather than try to keep possession, just kick it out. Nothing too fancy. Instead, something happens. He loses control of the ball. The opponent here grabs it back. And as we've seen here, a huge gap is forming, and it will only get bigger because this guy's main focus will be on the ball, on the ball. One, two, three, four, five. Everyone's focusing on the ball. No one's focusing on the guy with all the space here. Yeah, I know that he's not yet into frame. Into frame, I mean, he's not yet in the box, but he's definitely going to cause a problem. And then once again, one, two, three, surrounding one player. Okay, it's deflected, yes, but still, I do feel they could have engaged. All right, so look at this. He gets it, right? All right, so he gets past him. No problem here. Now look at how much time he has to immediately he has so much time to pressure the ball, and then he puts his hand behind his back, and then he starts anticipating a block or a shot, which he does do well. But if he runs further, if he runs closer to him, that deflection wouldn't have led to this. And it's deflected, but it's a lovely strike. Also, the commentators really did like that strike. Because reason being, if he was closer, that ball would not have deflected like that. And then he's so unmarked. So if you have if you have this much players, we're not really going to count him, right? If you have about 4 players near the ball, someone has to pressure you, or just can't be standing near the ball and not do anything. Deflected. And I feel it's also because he tried to turn as that shot was taken. Let's see if we can get a better angle. I think this one here. Yeah, somewhere here. Ah, problem is maybe this angle, because that's definitely deflected. Now, problem is, but I think it's because he was trying to turn, and then he ends up getting a wicked deflection on that ball. Like very wicked, wicked deflection. Anyway, let's head on to the next goal of the match. All right, so pass is played, right? Really good pass. So at this point, he's ahead of the ball, right? And then he's behind him, right? Remember on the previous chance where I said that that guy wasn't quick but does very well to, protect the ball? Now look what happens here. He gets past him. And at this point, I could say probably like fouls, but no, it wouldn't be. Okay, I think he does have the chance to foul him because, yeah, it's not really a goal scoring opportunity because he does have someone back with him. And then it's really on this. I mean, it's from the corner side, so I think it would be given a yellow card. But then also the other option is to at least shrug him off because at this point he's just escorting him. All right, so if someone's quicker than you, and then if you know someone's quicker than you, or you know that you feel like you're about to get beaten, right? And you can see that person in the corner of your eye coming right behind you, use your shoulder. The least you can do is make it harder for him to get to that ball. Because, if you try to shrug him off, completely legal. As long as you don't use it, you can just shrug him off, just try to slow him down. Don't just let him get past you. And then I like how he cuts it back, gives himself that space. And then that's a lovely strike. Boom. Amazing. Yeah, but he gets beaten way too easily. It all starts from here. Get your arm out or just try to provide an obstruction He flicks. Sorry, he cuts. What's that word? Flicks it. I think it's flicks it or step over. I don't know. What's the thing about it? It's just that back. It's something like a back heel or something. Not really a back heel, but you know what I mean. Yeah, he chops it. Sorry, yeah, he chops it, leaves him for dust, and then it doesn't look like he's going to score because it's outside the box and shots outside the box don't have a high percentage of going in, but he di he disproves that because that's a lovely strike. It really is. And then you see that he immediately goes to get the ball so that they can restart. But that is a lovely strike. Lovely, lovely strike. Nothing much the goalkeeper can do there. And also here, his teammate should have been running like that because he's running straight just to cover him, his teammate, just in case anything does go bad. Because by the time he's taking the shot, his teammate is, oh my goodness, did you see that? He could have actually pressured the ball, but instead he takes another step back and then goes to hold his hand behind his back, expecting the shot. Sometimes the best thing you can do is stop the phase of so the phases, right? Phase one, like he runs forwards, he flicks it, takes a touch to set himself up, then shoots. Rather than wait all the way to step four, whereby he shoots and then you hope to block it, try and engage maybe on step three or step two, whether he's either chopping it back or taking that touch. If you immediately go to approach there, you have a better chance of preventing that goal because what he does, he really doesn't help himself. He goes further away and opens up the space even more. Yeah, the first defender could have done better by allowing him to get past him so earlier. But his teammate also could have at least provided proper backup or anticipated that he would get beaten. Still a lovely strike. We'll take nothing away from that. Somewhere here is the next goal. He has the ball, plays it to his teammate. Now this one here. All right, so look, he has all the space in the world, right? And then he knows if he goes to pressure, he's going to play that ball or he's going to leave space. He knows that, right? But to be honest, I think he can afford to do that. Reason being so is because, let's say, for example, he goes out and pressures this ball. Yes, you concede a lot of space in behind him. Yeah. But this guy, the one that's here, the one that's far out, yeah, but by the time the ball is going like that, in hopes of reaching him, and then if you look behind here, there's more than enough people. He could go immediately rush out, and then there's someone else here that can cover for him. And then there's also three players here who are too close to each other that do end up causing this chance to, happen. Because there should be more spread out, like maybe, yeah, one can be right behind the defense. I think there's also an attacker here, like he's okay, but they could spread out a bit more. He could be a further slightly to the left. He could be further to the left. He could be further to the right, and then he could be somewhere there, just for the sake of covering as much as possible, because they actually free this up. But he should have definitely rushed out because, yeah, the ball would have been played to him into space, but someone could also rush out and prevent that cross from being made. He takes it, no pressure, whack. So you see, he doesn't immediately score from the shot that's taken, but the deflection. Yes, shots from outside the box have a lower probability of going in. But deflected shots, I would really like to see the statistics of that because I do believe you have a higher chance of it because the keeper is probably on the ground or is probably, they're probably on the ground. And since he's made the first save, are less likely to also get up for the second save. Boom, goal. That's why it's so good to shoot from outside the box because they don't really expect it. And also, it's not that you immediately score, but also the fact that the keeper saves it, gets deflected, and someone else gets to run on it. But he was given way too much space. That's practically inviting someone. Go on, have a shot. Keeper does make a save, but puts it back into the danger area, and he scores it. And once again, do you see that? He doesn't celebrate. He doesn't celebrate. Did you see that? He doesn't celebrate. He takes the ball and immediately goes to restart it. Arsenal, are you listening? Martinelli, are you listening? You don't celebrate. You're supposed to take the ball to the court, sorry, to the center and immediately restart the match. not celebrating as if. Now, this one was kind of funny because he does well, he chops him, right? But then look at this. Boom, takes out the defender, and while he's on the ground, I don't know if he tries to take a shot or crosses it. Look at that. And then, boom, so much pandemonium in this match. So much pressure. All right, so 1v1, manages to get himself a bit of space, crosses it in. Once again, you're practically inviting someone to shoot. All right, he doesn't take the shot, right? He lays it off to his teammate, but once again, what's happening here? Because in that, this is also the same area where that previous goal was scored. And once again, very close to each other. And it's scored probably because they're not pushing up. Because, yeah, they want to be near each other. But, all right, you want to protect the center. But then again, you also don't want to have a situation whereby people are freely like taking shots from, even if it's this area. What you don't want is shots. Because the shots invites pressure. By pressure, deflections, people might get sighted out. What's this? Yes, he may save it, or he may bump it out and then someone else takes it on. Sometimes handballs, sometimes even penalties can form from that as the person is taking the shot and then someone accidentally trips on a tackler. You don't want to be inviting like shots like that, especially repeatedly, because every time someone tries to take someone is taking a shot, there's always someone that's running there. This was definitely deflected because look at the way the keeper dives. All right, so let's look at this here. He doesn't have to go. All right, he's the closest, but then again, it's not necessary because at this point in time, someone else can take over. So he runs there, right? Yeah, he does not have to make that run because he's rushing out and then he can cover any shot that he takes. Yeah, he's a bit far away, but he could at least, provide that little bit of distraction. By distraction, I mean like body, just so that the defender or the person on the ball has to like curve it around him or just, strike it past him, stuff like that. And also, I wonder what car is this? I really do wonder what car is this one? So yeah, it looks nice though. I wonder what car is that? So that, yeah, so there was no need for him to rush out because he does okay here. And then look at how his teammate is rushing out. That's how he's supposed to rush out. He should have just stayed here. There was no need because, again, as he goes there, again, he has to make that run. So there's no need for him to do that. He opens this up. Boom. And also that deflection was horrible. I mean, it's one of those really unfair deflections that happens whereby you just hold your hand and you're like, what else could I have done? And unfortunately, couldn't find an angle where it shows the deflection. But anywho, ball is played in, right? First of all, there's no need. Okay, he tries to hit it. Okay, I can see what he's trying to do. He's trying to head the ball back to his teammate, but that does not go too well because look what happens. I don't know if it's an underhit header. He doesn't plan it too well, but the opposition ends up taking it, right? And then this is the second phase of play that's funny to me. Look at here. Yeah, all right, so the defender has. This is the defender's ball, but look what happens. Oof. I don't know how he falls down, but goodness is back up quick. And unfortunately, he does not take that chance. That really should have been a goal. It really should have been a goal. All right, so this is another chance, right? He tried to receive the ball on the turn there, and then he loses it. Because you see here, where he didn't really time it properly, ends up losing the ball. He's tired. He's very tired. Look at how, not unbothered, but you see, when he puts his head down, he's realizing how much distance he has to cover because he's lost the ball. Maybe the ball gained the pass, but still, the fact that he turned, wanted to receive it on the turn, probably could have taken the ball elsewhere. Yeah, he's not running back. He's not running back. And then now, I was focusing a bit too much on him, probably passing in, but he's running in between them, right? He's running in between the two defenders. Now, look at who will appear. So look at who appears. Why is he running all the way forward? Is he trying to play offside? Because he was actually in the best position. The player that's running, did he actually think he was going to block him off? Did he actually think from where he was going to be able to like, block that pass or something? So why? Why is it? Why does he run? Why does he do that? That's a really great. That's a lovely flick right there, right? And then here, he should score because the way the keeper comes out and the way his feet seem to be planted near each other, he probably could have taken it around the keeper. Otherwise, that's been my match analysis. This was a really fun game to watch, especially the highlights. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.